Lady Sylvanas, we are pleased that you came.
How could I not? For some reason, I no longer hear the Lich King's voice in my head. My will is my own once again. You Dreadlords seem to know why.
We've discovered that the Lich King is losing his power. As it wanes, so too does his ability to command undead such as you.
And what of King Arthas? What about his powers?
Though his runeblade Frostmourne carries powerful enchantments, Arthas's own powers will fade in time. It is inevitable.
You seek to overthrow him, and you want my help to do it.
The Legion may be defeated, but we are the Nathrazim. We'll not let some upstart human get the best of us. Arthas must fall.
The Lich Kel'Thuzad is far too loyal to betray his master. But you, on the other hand...
Hate him. I have my own reasons for seeking vengeance. Arthas murdered my people and turned me into this monstrosity. I may take part in your bloody coup, but I will do so in my own way.
I, for one, do not trust her. Her heart is still elven. She will never side with us. Don't be too hasty. She has great spirit, but her hatred for Arthas will ultimately serve our cause.
Agreed. Well, if that's settled, let the festivities commence.
So the seizures have been getting worse?
Yes. With my powers drained, I can barely command my own warriors. The Lich King warned me that if I didn't reach Northrend soon, all could be lost.
Fear not, my king. Everything is being prepared for your departure. The ships are waiting at the coast, and...
There's been a change of plans, King Arthas. You're not going anywhere.
Assassins! It's a trap!
You should never have returned, human. Weakened as you are, we have assumed control over the majority of your warriors. It seems your reign was short-lived.
There are too many of them, my king. Flee! Escape from the city! I'll find my own way out and meet you in the wilderness.
All right, Lich. Good luck. Now, Frostmourne. Frostmourne hungers.
Our master Kel'Thuzad sent us to aid you. Our new skeletal mages will make short work of the rebels.
Very good. We'll need to move quickly and find any others still loyal to me. We're going to need all the support we can get.
You will know endless torment.
This is more like it. Finally.
Must be.
Speak, fool. Ah, at last. Ah, at last. Tread lightly. This is more like it.
Inventory is full.
Finally. Now, Frostmourne. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Speak, fool. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Inventory is full.
Ah, at last. This is more like it.
The restless dead await. For the Lich King.
No one orders me around.
The dead shall serve.
What is it now? This is more like it. Finally. Ah, at last.
Let darkness guide me.
What is it now?
This better be as good. The shadow will.
Intrigue. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last.
The dead shall serve.
Speak, fool.
What does the shadow will? Tremble before the restless dead await.
Intrigue. No one orders me around. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Faithless coward. Speak, fool. No one orders me around.
What does the shadow will?
Tread lightly. What is it now? Tread lightly. Finally. Finally. This is more like it.
You will know endless torment. Your pain shall be legendary. I'll make sure you suffer. For the Lich King, your pain shall be legendary.
Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Finally. This is more like it.
The dead shall serve.
No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool.
The restless dead await.
What is it now?
This better be good.
What is it now?
The dead shall serve.
No one orders me around. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Ah, at last.
Yes, right away. That sounds logical. A fateful choice.
The restless dead await.
Speak, fool.
Is there something amiss?
Tread lightly. Ah, at last. Finally.
By Nerub. The rebels nearly had us, King Arthas.
I would not leave my subjects to be slaughtered by this rabble.
Then we shall stand by you till the end.
You will know endless torment.
Frostmourne hungers.
What does the shadow will?
Finally. I have need of your abilities, little shade. Will you help me?
I live only to serve you, King Arthas.
last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Now, Frostmourne.
For the Lich King, let darkness guide me.
Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last.
A fateful choice. Yes, right away.
I have need of you warriors. Come with me. Finally. This is more like it. Ah, the Dreadlord's guards are stationed outside that armory. If we can fight our way past them, we could commandeer the meat wagons held inside. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. I call upon your loyalty. Will you serve me? Finally, some firepower. These will help us with the main gate's defenses. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Faithless coward. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. No one orders me around. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Finally.
What needs revealing? Let's see.
Speak, fool. What is it now? Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. This is more like it.
That sounds logical. Indeed.
Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool. Finally. This is more like it. Ah, at last. No one orders me around. Finally. Ah, at last. Tread lightly. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers.
As the shadow wolf.
Ah, at last.
Indeed.
Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. This is more like it.
Speak, fool.
Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
You there. Will you not stand by your king? Now, Frostmourne.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Finally. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
I wait.
Finally. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. What is it now? Ah, at last.
A fateful choice.
This is more like it. Ah, at last.
Intriguing.
These piles of corpses will serve us well. We can reanimate the bodies and bolster our forces as we move. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
I'll make sure you suffer.
Finally. This is more like it. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Our forces are under attack.
Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. Finally. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Finally.
Our forces are under attack.
Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers.
Your pain shall be legendary.
Finally. This is more like it. Ah, at last.
This better be good.
What we do?
The restless dead await.
Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last.
For the Lich King. As the shadow will.
Finally.
You will know endless torment.
This
Our
is more
forces
like
are under
it.
attack.
Ah, at last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Finally.
Faithless coward.
This is more like it. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. No one orders me around. At last. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Our forces are under attack.
That sounds logical.
This is more like it. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. For the Lich King. Finally. Ah, at last. Now, Frostmourne. Finally.
Small King Norskin, stay, ren, feast.
Frostmourne hungers. At last.
Our forces are under attack.
At last.
That sounds logical.
No one orders me around. This is more like it. We have no time for this. We must find our way out quickly. You have my thanks, ladies. But where is your mistress? Where is Sylvanas?
She sent us to find you, Great King. We've come to escort you across the river. Once we cross it, we'll take refuge in the wilderness.